So this now was something very troubling that broke with GB News recently. And this should explain really a lot of things that are going on right now, and why our country's in the state that it's in. The head of the article goes like this: foreign royal family own more of London than King Charles, as worrying trend laid bare. Despite the famous landmarks like Buckingham Palace being synonymous with London, the British royal family's personal foothold in the capital is dwarfed by another royal house. The House of Al Thani, the ruling of Qatar, have gradually built a real estate empire with huge construction projects and acquisitions of iconic landmarks. Across the capital, the royal family own a number of iconic palaces which serve as official residences, including Buckingham Palace, Kensington Palace, St. James's Palace, and Clarence House. Such estates are not considered private property and are instead owned by the sovereign on behalf of the nation. However, the Qataris have no such obligation with their growing portfolio in the capital. The Al Thani family's net worth is estimated to be around £2.4 billion, with the house's patriarch, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, said to be worth around £1.6 billion alone. As such, the families have built up an impressive collection of private houses in some of London's most salubrious areas. All in all, the Al Thani family is believed to own a staggering 1.8 million square feet of real estate in the capital. Northwestern Mayfair was dubbed Little Doha in reference to Qatar's capital city, due to high concentration of properties owned by the Al Thani family. The empire encompasses as much as a quarter of the area, including what may be Britain's most valuable private home. The palatial 44,000 square foot home was valued at £400 million in 2015, with Vanity Fair reporting that the late Queen Elizabeth quipped made Buckingham Palace look rather dull in comparison. So the trend is emerging, basically, that in many instances, London is not even owned by our own monarchs and our own royal family anymore. It's owned by a foreign royal family, and our capital of the country being owned by a foreign nation should be obvious that is not good. And it should be obvious as to, again, another aspect of what's going on is that we don't own ourselves at this moment in time. We don't own ourselves. We are owned by foreigners. I'm sorry if that's something you don't want to admit, but it's true. As an example, as I just read off, the Shard, both the capital and Europe's tallest building, is 95% owned by the state of Qatar. The London skyline is also several grand projects financed and owned by Qatari rulers. Canary Wharf is co-owned by the Gulf States Sovereign Wealth Fund. Heathrow Airport, projected to service 84.2 million travellers in 2025, also falls under the Qatari Investment Authority umbrella, with 20% a share being held by the state. Sainsbury's is also 14.3% owned by the Qataris. This is worrying. In fact, it does seem to explain a lot of why King Charles's remarks have been the way that they are, where they've been a lot of the times fundamentally anti-Christian, very pro-Islam, pro-Muslim, right? To the extent that he starts off his addresses with Alhamdulillah, right? So this should say a lot. The fact that our royal family, this is why I said monarchists, I think the monarchy is dead, should tell you everything you need to know. Our monarchy, supposed monarchy, doesn't even own the majority, not just all of it, doesn't even own the majority of London. The Qatari royal family do. So something really needs to be done, doesn't it? Something really needs to be done. Does explain a lot about why things are turning out the way that they are, though. But until it's changed, we can expect it to get a hell of a lot worse. Because make no mistake, the Qataris do not have our best interests in mind.